Hey everybody, welcome back to Video episode. Taking out a fun and random episode to you guys this Friday because we are doing a monitor review, which seems a little bit strange for the channel, but when the company UPERFECT reached out to me to review this thing, I had a lot of fun ideas as to how I could incorporate it into the channel, play around with MiSTer FPGA as well as some PC gaming, so I figured why not. Before you get too far involved, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But generally, I don't take many of these review units in, but I had some ideas as to what a portable 2K 144Hz monitor could do for MiSTer and for the rest of the channel, so I figured why not. So when you actually get this in, it comes in a very generic box, just as portable monitor. It's definitely not lying about what it is inside, but there really isn't much branding on it. And it looks like you just get delivered a gigantic iPad. This thing basically has the exact same concept as far as the foldability of an iPad cover, with the magnets and all inside of it. And when you get further in, it's got an instruction manual, which no one will ever read. We'll toss that to the side. We're going to play with it as it comes, as well as a wall wart and some cables. And I will say it comes with everything you need in here. The wall wart, 2 different USB-C cables that can cover all of your power and display needs, as well as an HDMI to a mini HDMI cable, which is super important because who really has those sitting around outside of me? And as you'll see as we open the cover, it is just one gigantic laptop style monitor in a case. It is no frills in the best way possible. It does everything you need it to do without having any extra features that really don't add any value to it. And I do like the magnetized case as well. Not only does it keep the monitor clear, it also allows me to do some pen tricks on screen at the same time. This is great. You just throw it in your bag, take it over to LAN parties, whatever else you really want to do. For me, this will definitely help me editing the channel when I'm on the road, doing those MiSTer updates when I'm not at home, because I actually do leave the house, believe it or not. Now around the side, we'll do a close-up in just a second, but you have a headphone port, 2 USB Type-C ports, as well as the mini HDMI, and a rocker switch that allows you to control a lot of different options, and it also presses in as well, so it is a menu toggle. As we take a closer look, it's nice to have this I/O here. On my laptop, the Type-C gives me both the power as well as the video signal, and on something like MiSTer FPGA, I have that mini HDMI cable there, so I'm able to put the signal in. Honestly, it has everything I need and nothing I don't, because I don't really care so much about the extra features. I care about the I/O and what can actually deliver. Now as far as what comes in the box, again, you get enough cabling. You're not going to have to go out and buy anything else. And again, outside of me having a mini HDMI cable from my old Sony cinema camera, most people don't have these, so it's great to see it come in the box. But honestly, if you're using a laptop with any sort of ability to transport the video as well as power across USB-C, this is going to be the cable you use, but they give you 2. I'm not sure why, but it's nice to have a bonus one in the case. They could be a tiny bit longer in my opinion. It's not going to hinder you, but I would have liked a couple extra feet on the cable. And you're going to get your standard USB-C wall wart. Nothing particularly special. It delivers power, it has the right voltage, and honestly, it's exactly what you need. But high marks on having that little bit of plastic on the edges there to actually pull the wall wart out, that does make a difference. Now this is a gaming monitor, and the one thing I care about is what sort of latency it's actually going to add to your gameplay. And thanks to Wickerwaka and Mr. Laggy and the MiSTer FPGA, I'm going to be able to accurately test the lag on this monitor with Laggy. All you do is hold the unit over one of the 3 flashing white boxes, and you'll see at the top here, we're getting latency around 5.5 milliseconds. That's definitely far under a frame, which would be around 16 milliseconds. So that is a really nice result. If we move over to the middle square right here, you're going to see we're getting about 11.5 milliseconds of lag still underneath a frame. If we move down to the lowest square here, we're getting slightly over a frame of lag. So there is a little bit of a difference between the top and the bottom, but it is in a nice range. And if you take a look around the back, you have some basic mounting holes, and the back plastic is definitely there. It's light, but it keeps it from getting too heavy in your bag if you actually travel around with this thing. Weighs a lot less than my gaming laptop, that is for sure. And the nice thing is, at least on the Windows laptop side, I'm sure Mac as well, I don't have one, but I'm sure it works, is you just get the screen right across that USB-C connector. When you first turn the unit on, especially if you're over power delivery, it's going to default to the lowest brightness, which is a little bit too low, but this thing has an absolute ability to just make the brightness go probably a little bit higher than you would even like. I would say maybe 6 or 7 is going to be the wheelhouse or something like this. And as far as the channel is concerned and my editing abilities, this is going to be great when I do travel around, because I do go on vacation now and then, but I love bringing my editing with me, especially for actual work clients. You'll see I get my entire resolve window, all of my files in bins, my timeline, my 2 displays, the master as well as the asset source, and all of my inspector details as well. And what it drives me nuts on my Lenovo laptop is that there's not enough screen real estate, no matter how I configure it, to be able to get my 2-up display as well as my inspector window open at the same time. That's how I edit, and it drives me nuts. Now, as far as the color rendition here, it's going to cover 100% of the DCI P3 color space, so you're going to get an absolutely incredibly good looking image out of the monitor. And it has a high enough pixel density on the 2K monitor at 18 inches that you're never going to see a pixel unless you start bringing a magnifying glass out. And the case, again, it's really nice for that portability factor. All you do is bend it in, flop it out, and the case is going to stand up on its own, and you're going to have the monitor at a very nice viewing angle. It's definitely not the same as having a plastic arm on your monitor with a stand, but if you're just popping out or going to a friend's house for gaming, it does work. And as far as modern gaming is concerned, that 144Hz panel is going to be great, but I'm going to end up doing something like playing Fez on it. I just love the colors on this game, and I wanted to see the color representation compared to my studio monitors, which I do have color calibrated for color grading and general editing. Now, of course, the camera changes the colors a little bit because we are in a particular Sony Cinema color space, so this isn't exactly the same as if I was looking at it on my eyes, but it does 100% look incredible, and in a pinch I could color correct on it. But moving over to the MiSTer FPGA side of things, it's going to be great to have this available from a shooting aspect on the channel, so I can show you more of this on the table, because a lot of times when I need to change settings on a video, I need to run into my office or into my living room, hook it up to a monitor, change the setting, and come back and get it back on the table, especially for analog stuff. And I found a lot of other fun use case scenarios for this thing as well, because even though it has FreeSync and it's 144Hz, you can also just turn it on its side and make it a Tate monitor on MiSTer FPGA or any other source. This was actually one of my favorite uses of it, getting into the on-screen display for MiSTer here and switching around a cave shmup. This is just a ton of fun, because obviously you're getting more screen real estate here than you would if you were just rotating the image with it in horizontal mode. And this is just a ton of fun to see actually happening on the table, and it helps me really with my production workflow. Obviously this isn't the same thing as rotating a 4x3 CRT on its side, but not everyone has one of those, nor do they want to rotate them. And honestly, as far as the latency is concerned, if there was any problems in a bullet hell shmup, I would be able to tell. And again, with the laggy testing as well as just the general gameplay, this thing is absolutely nailing it as far as the latency is concerned. It's not going to affect your gameplay whatsoever, but if you do die in this game, that's going to be down to you. But it's just a lot of fun, and the nice thing at the 144Hz refresh rate is you can do stuff like BF5 black frame insertion on RetroTink 4K, because you're going to need at least a 120Hz panel on something like that. And when you're done, wherever you are, you take this with you, you're editing, you're playing MiSTer FPGA, you're playing LAN party stuff, just fold it up, it closes that quickly. So this was a lot of fun. Generally I don't take review stuff like this, but I had an idea that this would be very helpful for my workflow in the future, and if you guys are looking for something like a portable 144Hz monitor, this one's awesome. There's an affiliate link down in the description below if you want to pick one up, and if you don't like using affiliate links, just go to the UPERFECT website and buy it without that. I make nothing if you don't do it, but I don't really care. That's not why we're here. I'm just here to talk about fun stuff I think you guys will be interested in, and this monitor definitely suits my workflow. It's great for MiSTer, RetroTink 4K, PC gaming, and pretty much anything else. Short of that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.